The legends and lies of the dwarves who carried the name Durin, from the legendary Durin the Deathless to the mysterious Durin the Seventh. Known as kings, founders, warriors and visionaries, each of these figures shaped the fate of Khazad-dum and all of Durin's folk. But how many of these Durins truly walked Middle-earth, and what makes each one distinct? By the end of this journey, we'll answer the question that's intrigued fans and lore masters alike. How many Durins were there really?
Build me an army worthy of Mordor.
Durin is the name of the dwarves used for the eldest of the seven fathers of their race, and the ancestor of all the kings of the Longbeards. He slept alone, until in the deeps of time and the awakening of that people he came to Azanul-Bizar, and in the caves above Kheled-zaram in the east of the Misty Mountains he made his dwelling, where afterwards were the mines of Moria renowned in song. There he lived so long that he was known far and wide as Durin the Deathless. Yet in the end he died before the elder days had passed, and his tomb was in Khazad-dum, and his line never failed, and 5 times an heir was born in his house, so like his forefather that he received the name Durin. He was indeed held by the dwarves to be the Deathless that returned, for they have many strange tales and beliefs concerning themselves and their fate in the world. Before we dive into today's video, I want to give a quick shout out to our other channel, the Tabletop Alliance. If you're a fan of Middle-earth strategy battle game or MESBG, it is well worth checking out. So whether you're into epic battle reports, army discussions, painting tips, or staying up to date with the latest news, there is something for every Middle-earth fan. So if that sounds like your thing, head over and join the Alliance. But now, let's get on with the video. Our story begins with Durin the Deathless, the eldest of the 7 fathers of the dwarves, crafted by the Valar Aule himself. Durin was unique among the dwarves. He was set apart from the others, awakening alone at Mount Gundabad. Durin was captivated by a mysterious crown of stars reflected in Kheled-zaram, which he took as a sign of destiny. Driven by his vision, he founded Khazad-dum, later known as Moria, which would become the greatest of all dwarven cities. Durin's long life, influence, and deep connection to his people earned him the title the Deathless, and his spirit was believed to live on through his descendants, sparking the legacy of Durins yet to come. Then, little is recorded about Durin II, but he stands as one of the early rulers of Khazad-dum, likely during the end of the First Age or earlier in the Second. In the eyes of his people, Durin II was considered a reincarnation of Durin I, a notion that reveals the unique cultural belief of the Longbeards. Each new Durin wasn't simply a descendant, but was believed to inherit the spirit, wisdom, and appearance of Durin the Deathless. Durin II upheld his ancestors' legacy, guiding his people in the foundations laid by the first Durin, and reinforcing their deep reverence for Khazad-dum. Durin III's time was marked by one of the greatest alliances in dwarven history, the friendship between the dwarves of Khazad-dum and the elves of Eregion. This Durin was said to receive one of the 7 rings directly from Celebrimbor, the leader of the elven smiths, making him the first of the dwarves to bear a ring of power. With this bond, Durin III and his people helped Eregion stand against Sauron, sending forces to aid the elves. Even when Eregion fell, Durin III's realm remained unassailable, and he sealed the doors of Durin, isolating Khazad-dum and preserving it against the growing darkness. His rule exemplifies the strength and resilience of the dwarves. In the late Second Age, or potentially early Third Age, Durin IV took on the mantle of king. Like his father, he wielded a ring of power, ensuring the line of Durin remained strong and safeguarded. Little is known about Durin IV's deeds, but his continued rule over Khazad-dum reflects the power and prosperity that remained with the dwarves and what they truly enjoyed during this period. Under Durin IV, Khazad-dum thrived and held firm against external threats as the Longbeards remained secluded and their halls rich with mithril. Durin V represents the peak of Khazad-dum's glory. His reign likely stretched into the early Third Age, and the halls of Khazad-dum were filled with bustling dwarven activity, craft and mining. Durin V wielded the heritage of Durin the Deathless with pride, leading his people through what would become their last age of undisturbed peace. Yet this calm would not last forever, as the dwarves continued mining mithril and unknowingly drew closer to the Balrog that lay in slumber below. Durin VI faced the ultimate crisis that would alter dwarven history forever. In the year 1980 of the Third Age, the dwarves finally dug too deep, too greedily, and awoke Durin's bane, a Balrog of Morgoth, lying hidden for ages beneath Khazad-dum. Durin VI was the first to face the wrath of this ancient creature, perishing at its hands. His death marked the beginning of a tragic era for the Longbeards, as his son, Nain I, also fell shortly after. Durin VI's legacy is bittersweet. He was the last Durin to rule in Moria before it became a place of darkness, shunned by the dwarves for centuries. Then we have Durin VII, known as Durin the Last, he emerged in the Fourth Age, fulfilling an ancient prophecy of Durin's return. Descended from Thorin Stonehelm III, Durin VII was prophesied to lead his people back to Khazad-dum, reclaiming their ancestral home. His emergence would have felt like a homecoming to the dwarves, who had long been exiled from Khazad-dum. Through him, they hoped to revive their past greatness. His return marked a time of restoration for the Longbeards, as they re-established their kingdom within the depths of Khazad-dum. Durin VII's reign, while the last of his line, ensured that Durin's folk would flourish once more, restoring Khazad-dum to its former glory until the days of Durin's race came to an end. The line of Durin spans thousands of years, yet each of these kings is believed to carry the spirit of Durin the Deathless himself, a concept that is rare even among the dwarves. This belief isn't merely about lineage or succession. It embodies the resilience, wisdom and strength that the dwarves of Khazad-dum cherished and upheld. Each Durin carried a part of their founder, drawn from his character and vision, which made them symbols of hope and unity for their people. Through their struggles against the forces of Morgoth, Sauron, and even the Balrog in Khazad-dum, the Durins demonstrated unmatched courage and loyalty. They faced grave losses, from the abandonment of their beloved Khazad-dum to the destruction wrought by dragons in the Grey Mountains, yet they ever pressed onward, preserving their culture and knowledge. The line of Durin is not simply a sequence of kings, it's the soul of Durin's folk, each ruler echoing that spirit that Aule once crafted with his hands. Perhaps the greatest mystery of all is whether Durins were literal reincarnations, or whether they embodied the ideals so perfectly that each successor became a living testament to the founder's memory. This is the unique legacy of the Durins. They are not merely names etched in stone, but living embodiments of dwarven resilience. The name Durin lives on, not just as a kingly title, but as a timeless reminder of their origin, their trials, and that heart of Durin's folk. And so there we have it. How many Durins were there really? There were 7 overall, each believed to embody the spirit of the Deathless, carrying on his legacy across millennia. From the founder Durin I to Durin the Last, their lives were bound to the fate of Khazad-dum, creating a legacy unmatched among other dwarven families. Through each Durin, we see a thread that binds the past to the present, uniting all of Durin's folk under a single, timeless lineage. And I would also like to take a moment at the end of this video today to give you a quick update on The Guard, the short film that we are creating. Everything is going amazing. We have just shot block 2, and the rest of it should hopefully be shot soon too. As always, it is all the money from our Patreon that is funding this. In essence, it is a no-budget production if you consider the large scale of film, but every pound that you give is a massive help to create an incredible story. I'm putting a couple of shots on screen now and some behind-the-scenes clips to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. So if you would like to help support it a little bit more to help push us over the line, then please check out our Patreon. Every little bit really helps. And now it is time for my question of the day, which is, which of the Durins do you find most fascinating? And do you believe Durin the Deathless truly walked again through each of his descendants? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section down below. And now it is time to give a massive thank you to our patrons who continue to support the channel. You are all amazing. And if you have reached the very end of this video with me today and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It would massively help us out. And why not drop a like on the video as well. And with that, all I can say is, thank you for spending just some of your time with me today, and I will see you next time on The Broken Sword.